we were in the middle of dealing with the Amazon servers being down.
Well, I honestly wasn't sure we would get on Zoom because I got a message today that said that my account. Oh, did I lose you guys?
No,
No,
I'm here. We're here.
Oh, where did you go?
Oh,
we've
I
been
see you.
My gosh, I can't find you. That is so weird.
Uh-oh. Is it because you just started the live stream? I mean, recording?
There you are.
Okay.
Yeah, I started the recording and then I was like, it didn't have you guys on there. I was like, what happened?
Uh-oh.
Anyway, I got a message that said that our Zoom servers were out and we couldn't, they canceled a meeting or not a meeting, but like a training tonight. So
Oh.
I tried about an hour ago to get on because I was like, I need to let everybody know, but I don't have any problems.
Yeah, no, they got their servers kind of up and running this morning. But because everyone was trying to refresh and get into their programs, it kind of crashed other systems. And so it was just kind of
Oh,
a chain.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So
Sense.
we were having issues seeing our orders because ShipStation was down, and that's what we used to see all of our orders in one place. And so our boss had to send us a list that she could see from the website and Etsy,
Oh
put it all
gosh.
in one. So it was fun.
Yeah. Awesome. I actually almost messaged you because I was like, I would love like a fall rug. And mine just right now says home on it. And I was like, a fall rug would be fun, but I don't know how to order them from you. So I was like, I don't know. But I just now decorated this weekend.
I'll
So,
send you a link.
okay. That'd
And
be
then
great.
I can let my boss know that it's you and then I can hand deliver so that you don't have to pay
Oh,
shipping. So
that'd be great. That'd be great. And I have your ring, so we'll trade. Awesome. Well, welcome, Spring and Renee and Natalie. Glad y'all are on, and welcome to all the viewers out there that are hopping on virtually with us with the replay. So, tonight is October 20th, and we are on day 3 of our Bible study. It's not a study, it is a devotion. There's a difference. So it is called Hope in the Midst of Suffering. Kara Tippett's story, very inspirational. If you know anybody going through anything, it's been very, very inspirational. So we're gonna do day 3 tonight, next week, day 4, and then we'll have day 5 that you'll need to do on your own. But Renee is our Devo girl tonight, so take it away.
Okay. Tonight's Devo is called Hope That Parallels Pain. Christ relates to every trial we face and is therefore fully capable of being present in our grief, suffering, and pain. Every day we have opportunities to enjoy our lives and find pleasure in being fully His. In the film The Long Goodbye, the Kara Tippett story, Kara allows us to observe her pain and dying and then challenges us to see God's goodness alongside her. As a young mother of 4, her example of faith and hope amidst suffering is inspiring. She says suffering isn't a mistake and it isn't the absence of God's goodness because He is present in pain. We not only have hope to live a life that is prosperous and victorious, but a life that is joyful regardless of pain or suffering. The hope we have in Christ is not dependent on our circumstances, and since our hope was birthed in His suffering, it is in no way diminished by ours. Our ability to cast all our cares on Him only grows our understanding of His love and the peace that comes from abiding in His presence. When we see ourselves in His care, we grow in our delight toward Him and in our motivation to seek Him in all things large, small, meaningful, or mundane. We are all children of a just, loving, and holy God. His passion for us does not make us immune to mistreatment. Instead, it provides a nearness to Him that gives us perspective for our circumstances and our suffering. This provision of His presence offers us faith to believe that great joy does not always lead us around a valley of shadows, but often carves a path straight through. And our scriptures tonight is Philippians 4:11-13. Not that I am speaking of being in need, for I have learned in whatever situation I am to be content. I know how to be brought low, and I know how to abound. In any and every circumstance, I have learned the secret of facing plenty and hunger, abundance and need. I can do all things through him who strengthens me. And the next one is 1 Peter 5:7, casting all your anxieties on him because he cares for you. Psalm 23:4, even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. And finally, 2 Corinthians 1:13 through, I'm sorry, 3-4. 2 Corinthians 1:3-4. Blessed be the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, the Father of mercies and God of all comfort, who comforts us in our affliction, so that we may be able to comfort those who are in any affliction with the comfort with which we ourselves are comforted by God.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Thanks, Renee.
you're welcome.
What version of verses are you reading from?
Mark, we use one from church, ESV.
ESV, English
Yes.
Standard Version.
Yeah. That's what
So,
Mark uses for a sermon. So I just have it on that.
yeah. So up when you guys go to a verse, if you can see that. If you go to a verse at the top, there's a choice right there. It says NIV. You can hit that button and you can choose another version. Now I have an update, it looks like, but you can choose another version. And basically, what that means is that it's worded differently. Some are easier to understand than others.
And you have to watch because unfortunately some versions will remove verses and completely change the meaning behind them.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
I
So
hate
you have to
that.
be careful. I use the NIV. She uses ESV, which is English Standard Version. I love the New Passion Translation. Um, I am not very familiar with the Christian Standard Bible or the Message, but I think, Spring, do you remember when you bought your new Bible, what translation you bought? No? Okay. I kind of, I can't remember either. But you looked at the different verses. I taught you how to kind of look at that and see which one spoke to you better. I think it's different for everybody. And so I just didn't know if everybody knew that. So anybody get something from that devotion they want to share, or something that reminded you of something?
Well, right at the end, it talked about, yeah, we both have our orange cats. Um, right at the end, it talked about God carving a path through. We're not going around the valleys, we go through the valleys. And that's what I love
Yeah.
about Psalm 23. I did that song at church, Courtney's church, my home church, childhood church where we met. And he was teaching on Psalm 23, and it just kind of lined up perfectly. And it's like, oh, cool. I knew God would do that.
That's awesome.
But it also reminds me of a verse from the devotion that me and CJ just released our first podcast episode about.
I can't
Um,
wait to hear it. How
so
exciting.
yeah, we just launched it today. We had to record it twice because of technical difficulties. But
That's
that's
okay.
how it works sometimes.
Yeah.
But one of the verses was Psalm 16. Uh, I think 9-10 is what it does, but it basically saying that God won't leave us in hell. He won't leave us struggling. The last verse, he will show me the path of life. He's going to lead us as the good shepherd to the good pasture, the places where we deserve, where we belong, as long as we follow his voice and hear his voice. So it might seem hard, but that's he has a plan, and we just have to have that faith to follow that plan.
That's right. We do have the choice, which that's tough sometimes, especially when you see people making bad choices. Just recently, actually on Sunday, I have a friend that was going through a very, very similar situation as Cheryl. Her mom has basically not talked to her in years. And she had heard through the grapevine that her mom was in the hospital diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. And so she was in tears because she was like, I feel like I need to go, but I know that she's told everybody bad things about me. And so I just said, you know what? You are only responsible for what God tells you. You can't be responsible for what she chooses. So if God is telling you to go, then you go and let him do the rest and let her choose what she chooses. And today she went to an MRI, and hopefully this is the beginning of them um, reconnecting and restoring their relationship. And I reached out to Cheryl Sunday and just said, hey, I have a friend going through this, and would you be willing to pray for her? And of course she said yes. But I was like, that is such the sweet part of friendship, when you can truly reach out to somebody who you know is going through the same thing. And I was like, I just know what that looks like. I mean, I don't necessarily know that. So you can pray for things that I don't know to pray for. And so, and things are going well right now. So I just think that's, like what you were saying, Natalie, is we have to follow the voice of the Good Shepherd, and he will lead us there if we will follow him, but we have to choose to follow him. So, not always easy. Yeah. Anybody else? Okay. Well, Natalie, you want to go ahead and do your product knowledge?
Sure. I almost didn't have product again because I was chasing a mouse around my house. It's fine.
Oh,
Um,
no. Remind me not to come to your house because
well, it is
I
no longer in the house. My kittens caught it, and
good.
one of them played with it for a minute, and then I got him to let it go because it was still alive. He hadn't killed it yet, and I didn't want him to lose it again because it's been under my fridge for like 2 weeks at least. Um, and it was avoiding the traps. So I gave it a chance, and I got it in a dog bowl, and I launched it into the field across the street from us. So,
I was gonna say I'm surprised with your cats there that it's still alive.
well, they knew it was there, and they had been hunting it anyway. So my adrenaline was up, but I found things. So
Good. Good.
I decided to go ahead and spotlight our Hello Clean bundle. I don't think it gets talked about enough, and I do absolutely love it. And I think these are going in my bathroom because I need them. Um, so we have I gotta pull up the right sheet first.
Don't you love
But
it when you gift yourself like spa products?
well, and my mom, she absolutely loves the hydrating lotion. Like she swears by it on her dry old people legs. But we have the 2-in-1 body wash and shave. Um, and it is very good. It's kind of the only shave gel that we have. Well, I guess we have shower gel, like body gel that you can use, but this is specifically for shaving as well. It has glycerin in it to help it kind of glide over the skin so you're not going to be shredding up your skin, getting razor burn. Um, do, do, do. It delivers the convenience of a cleanser and shaving cream in one product. The unique botanical gel formula leaves skin feeling fresh, clean, and smooth. Um, so if you want to use fewer products in the shower, this is a great way to just merge it all into one. It has glycerin and barbadensis leaf, which is for moisturizing and hydrating. Um, why is this so tiny? And there's several different flower extracts for antioxidants and soothing agents. Um, so yeah, great stuff. Need to use it. And then we have the hydrating lotion, which don't get them confused because one will lather and one will not. Um, but the packaging is very similar on both. So pay attention to what you grab. I'm sure there are stories. Um, but it provides a lasting hydration for up to 24 hours, leaves skin feeling soft and smooth, clinically tested for skin irritancy and allergy, and dermatologist tested. So this also has the same ingredients, the glycerin, flower extracts, all the things for hydration, soothing. I am looking at the correct one. Yes, I am. But yeah, so it's good stuff. I need to use lotion more often, especially this winter because I dry out so fast.
I love the 2-in-1 wash and shave. That's what I use when I shave. It is fantastic. So my mom uses the hydrating lotion, but I wanted to share something that I just recently learned. There is a skin cancer. It's not really a cancer. Sorry, I take that back. It is the little like nodules. They look like kind of moles or raised skin. Um, and I recently had my dad at the skin doctor because he had what we thought was cancer growing on his ear. And long story short, I don't know what fence you're on, but he put ivermectin on it for horses. And he did that for about a week. And then he started using something else, but it's completely gone. Like he went to the doctor to have a biopsy. She couldn't even do a biopsy because it's not there. Like it's gone. And so we got to talking about skin because my mom has been in like 3 or 4 times with skin cancer and she's had a lot of things cut off. And they have these like, okay, like on my chest, you can kind of see like these moles that I have, like they're like freckles, but they're bigger. And right now they're flat. But my mom and dad's are like raised and they look like they could become cancerous, but the name she used for them, I can't repeat, but what she said was, I said, how do you keep those from growing? Because she said they're growing because your skin is dry. And I was like, so how do you keep them from growing? And she was like, well, if you're a lotion kind of person and you keep your skin moist, you're not going to have any problems. And I was like, yay, me. I had no idea. And that was one thing, because my mom and dad have both had issues with skin. And so I'm just like lathering myself up every morning and every night so I don't get those kind of things. But they eventually do have to cut them off because they get so raised. And so she just said, just keep moisturizing your skin all over, not just your face, but your hands and your legs and your chest and all of that. And I was like, that's good to know. So,
Well, because that'll help your hands and your feet and your legs matching your 25-year-old face. You're not going to
that's
have
right.
50-year-old hands and a 25.
That is right. You're exactly right. Love that. Very good. Anybody else have a testimonial about the hydrating lotion or the 2-in-1 body wash and shave?
Yeah, it does have a very light fragrance. So it's not like overpowering or fruity or flowery or anything like that.
Yeah.
One thing I saw was like, oh, light grapefruit flavor. And it's like, I don't think it's grapefruit. I didn't see that listed anywhere. Um, but yeah, it's definitely not fragrance free, but it's very pleasant.
Yeah.
And not like overpowering.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Great topic. Love those 2 products. Thank you so much. Okay, before we dive into what I have, does anybody have any questions that have come up for the e-commerce or Amazon or getting the checklist done or anything like that? Anybody have any questions?
I just got to sit my butt down and actually do it.
Well, you
I
have a
spent way,
deadline.
I spent
So,
way too much time on my computer over the last weekend, not doing that. So,
yeah. Well, I'm going to try to get a video ready tomorrow. I have a little bit of extra time and I'm going to try to do a shorter video instead of people having to watch last week's unit meeting. I'm going to do a short video, not like 2 minutes, but like shorter than that meeting. and tell everybody the basics and how to get the checklist ready and all that kind of stuff. Um, so be looking for that. I will text that out as soon as I get that ready. So, no questions? Okay. All right. Well, I want to tell you about a journey that I have been on for the last couple of months. You may or may not have seen my post about victorious emotions. Anybody seen that post that I made? Okay, well, you can go back to my personal page. I did post the picture of the book, and in the post is a link to a podcast. It's a very long podcast. It's 2 hours, but it is so worth it. So if you're out for a walk or you're riding the bike or you're cleaning your house, put your earbuds in and listen, because it is so fantastic. And now I want to listen to it again and take notes, but it was so fantastic that I decided to buy the book. And the reason for all of this is because, as you guys know, the last couple of years we have been through some turmoil and some people doing bad things to us, saying bad things about us, and it starts messing with your head. I don't know about you guys, but I'm a very emotional person, which on one hand is a very good blessing, is that I am emotional, because when I love big, I love strong, I love deep, right? But when I'm not, I'm on the other extreme, and it can be as deep. And sometimes past pain can creep into your head. And so my couple call the last few weeks have been almost exactly what I've been studying on this victorious emotions, which I will share more about that later. But I just wanted to reference that because it is so good, especially if you deal with any makeup stories. I don't know about you, but like, for example, my husband might say something, and in my head, I create a story about it that isn't true, because of maybe something in the past that's happened, or because of how I'm feeling about myself. And so I tell myself lies sometimes. And I think that's a trait that probably a lot of people experience. And so, anyway, all of that to say that this week and next week, I'm going to kind of talk to you about some things that have been not working, some things I've been studying about. And the first thing that I want to share with you is is about emotion versus feeling. So if you have a scrap piece of paper, you're welcome to take notes. But we'll start there. The difference between emotion and feeling. Do y'all have any ideas on what the difference is between an emotion and a feeling?
I should know this because I've heard another director use this before,
You
but
have?
I don't remember. Yeah, I can't remember. I think it was a Superstar Saturday. It's like, I know this, but I don't know this. I know I have it written down
Okay.
somewhere, lost in the notebook.
Any guesses? Anybody have a guess? Okay, so an emotion is raw data, okay? Raw automatic responses to your brain and your body generate, okay? Like if there's a death, right? If there's a move, if there is a situation where, somebody's mean to you, that's automatic responses, right? But feelings are conscious interpretation of those emotions. So that's the story that you're telling about the emotion. Okay. So you're actually telling a story about the data. All right. So you've got raw data, which is the emotion, and then you have the feeling, which is the story. Okay. So Um, the how effect is choosing a story that serves me. All right. So a lot of times we choose to tell ourselves a story that's not true, which creates a bad feeling and bad actions eventually, right? Anybody been there before? Unfortunately, I have to say yes. So, um, emotional precision turns raw emotion into fuel for aligned actions. Your mind can only build a home from old bricks. So, did you know that your thinking, everything that you think, is based on experiences? Okay. So, listen to this again. Your mind can only build a home from old bricks. That's kind of a deep thought, right? So, if your mind was building a home, the bricks they would use are stories and experiences that you've had from the past. So you have to interrupt the story. And in this book, in fact, what I read yesterday, did not get my reading done today. I was telling Renee that I hit the ground running early, literally running. I, in between, got a groom for my dog, and then I took my dad to a heart doctor appointment. Then I took my mom to get her nails done, and then to get deodorant because that's important. And then I got home and I had to download all this information from my husband. So, anyway, I did not get it done today, but what am I looking for? This is really good. Maybe it was yesterday. Okay. It is very important to realize that if we have two opposing beliefs in our head, we will believe the thought that has the most emotion attached to it. I'm going to read that again. It is very important to realize that if we have two opposing beliefs in our head, we will believe the thought that has the most emotion attached to it. So let's just say, I'm trying to think of something. Let's just say that my friend was supposed to call me and she didn't. And in my brain, I'm thinking probably two different things, right? I'm conflicting between, well, that's not like her. I hope everything's okay. Something must have come up, those kind of things. Then the other part of my brain would be like thinking, what did I do? Why is she mad at me? That kind of thought. So there would be two opposing thoughts, right? So your brain is going to pick the one that has the most emotion to it. So if you've had someone who's hurt you in that way, or a friend that has hurt you, you're going to automatically think the negative thought or the one that has the most emotion to it. Okay? Does that make sense? That's in the book. The other was what I've been coaching on from Kevin. So you can see how they're and he didn't know I was reading this book. That was a crazy thing. Because in our coaching call, I was like, have you heard of Victorious Emotions? And he was like, no. And I actually sent him the podcast and the book, and he was like, oh my gosh, that's so crazy. I'm like, I think God's trying to get my attention here. We give significance and authority to whatever we meditate or focus on. Yeah. Okay, so back to the feeling versus emotion. So grief and anger your body will go back to the baseline. So then you have to create what you want it to believe. So whether it is grief or anger or a victory or, like something happy, like weddings or whatever, it can be any circumstance that you're going through. Your body is going to have some sort of emotion attached to it, and in order to change the emotion you have to change the story. So you have to take yourself back to the baseline so that you can create a new story. Because if you trap in an emotion, then that is where the stress comes in. Okay. Your body and your brain are trying to protect you. So it just imaginary puts up this shield, right? So one thing that we were working on was how to let go of that emotion. And when you're feeling an emotion about something and you start going down the negative trail, what are some things that have worked for you before, that helps you kind of snap out or get back to that baseline to tell yourself a new story? Is there anything that you guys have done that has worked in the past when you realize you're going down a trail that's not serving you? I mean, I have lots of ideas. I just thought you might have an idea too.
I talk talk to myself out loud so my ears will hear, my brain will hear. And a lot of times I will probably, well, I've done it, talk to God out loud. I mean,
Yep.
not like a silent prayer, but I'm
Right.
actually like talking out loud to him, like, okay, God, I know this is not what you would have me to think, or you would have me to feel, or bring joy, help me to feel joy again, or help me, just something positive about that. Or I break into song. A lot of times I do that, to break into song, or
Yeah.
recite a scripture that just comes to mind, or something, just to kind of override it, so my brain's not thinking about that
That's
story.
right.
If that makes
That's
sense,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. Jesus and I have had many of conversations out loud. Me talking out loud. I love it. Yes. And on that same note, journaling, if you like to journal, that's a great thing too. You can just journal. Same thing with auditory. It kind of depends on what you like the best. Everybody has their own way. Um, Breath work, just stopping. My favorite breath work is Yahweh, breathing in Yah, breathing out way, Yahweh, Yahweh, and slowly, Yahweh, Yahweh, and I do that until I'm calm, and that helps me all the time. Especially, sometimes I'll get in bed and I'm thinking too much and I can't get my heart rate to slow down. Anybody ever been there when your heart rate is so up you can't go to sleep? I do the Yahweh breathing when I'm in bed a lot, a lot. Um, the other, definitely music. The other thing that is really, really good is to serve. Did you know that one of the best ways to pull someone out of depression or out of the darkness is to serve someone else? So if you are feeling sad or depressed or even angry, serve someone in a way that allows you to really dive into them. And it might be, um that you're doing a facial. I mean, it might even just be that, like just giving someone a facial might be serving. Maybe going to church and being a greeter, or serving a Sunday school class, or maybe um, paying for somebody's gas, or paying it forward on, while you're in line at Starbucks, or, something like that. But serving somebody can also really get you back to the baseline. Um, the other thing is to label the emotion, like to label um, what you're feeling, and like Renee was saying, just speak it out loud so your ears can hear it. And then that way you can say, I am feeling this because of this, and like work through it, with your words to really understand what you're experiencing, just to give it a name. Um, and because one thing that happens is when you're stuck in that place, it's hard for you to be creative. And creativity is where we do our best work. Whatever your strength is, when you're creative in your strength, is when you are producing the most influence, when you're producing the most success, all those things. And what happens is we get stuck in those feelings or those emotions, and it really causes our creativity to be none, void, or stale, right? And so, any kind of, expression of what you're feeling is going to help you get that out. I thought this was really good. When feelings are high, intelligence is low. So, when you're feeling something really strong, you're probably not logically thinking it either. So that's why, I don't know if you've ever had kids or been in sports, but there's a rule. I mean, ever since I've been a coach, and my daughter reminded me of this weekend, because they had a student who was in trouble, and she had to wait 24 hours to come talk to the coach. And so that is a rule, that if you're mad after a game, you cannot talk to the coach for 24 hours. And that's why, because when your emotions are high, your intelligence is low, and they want to talk to people with high intelligence and not high emotion. And so usually within 24 hours, your feelings have subsided. So anyway, this is just a really great subject that I've been working through, and we don't really have time to go into intuition, which is what I was going to share a little bit more about. But I'm going to have you think on something this week. Okay, let me ask you 3 questions, okay? Where do you feel intuition? Where do you feel it in your body? Okay, that's the first question. Second question is, what color is intuition? And if you were going to give your intuition an emoji, what emoji would you give it? Okay, and we'll go into that next week. Anybody have anything to add?
I do. Oddly enough, before I started Mary Kay, getting down that rabbit hole of, just, oh, I'm not good enough and I'm this, I'm not, was not hard. I mean, to get down that rabbit hole and you're just there and you're like, how in the world did I get here? And then I started Mary Kay, and those thoughts are gone. I mean, they're limited. Like one day it started and I put a stop to it. And I've realized it was because of the people that I was surrounded by. They were negative. They were giving me, they were giving me that. They were saying those things. And they were supposed to be the people that love me and the support me, but yet they were nitpicking. So yeah, I nitpicked myself to the point where I thought I wasn't good enough. And what it is, until I realized that haters are people that are unhappy with their own world. So they find it, yeah, they find it easier to pick on people because then that makes them feel better. Whether whatever negativity's in their world, it's easier to hate on someone and find some faults about them, whether they're true or not, to make yourself feel better. Until I realized that, surround yourself with the people that are supportive and bring you up, it's not hard to get down a rabbit hole. And the fact that,
Get that
and
fast.
yeah, to get down and not get back is hard. You know what I mean? So God love Mary Kay because, you know, I'm I'm so grateful and blessed to have that because I think I was heading down that road, the road I don't want to go. It's just I know it's silly, but thoughts, you know, they can lead us to, you got to say those positive affirmations every morning out loud. It's like manifesting our destiny, right? Just we can detour, we can do what we want with that positive attitude. Just get rid of the negative because sometimes people that we think are supporting us are really just kind of holding us down, and it's really just selfish of them to be that way. I know that. I don't know if I just rambled.
But yeah, you become like the 5 people you hang out the most with. So
Right, yeah.
Mhm.
So
yeah, for
Well,
sure.
you mentioned
Go ahead.
you mentioned affirmations, and I'm gonna make a selfless plug. Um, so the first episode of me and Courtney's podcast is over a case of God-given identity, and in the first chapter, she mentions how Christ verbally said who he was, and we need to verbally speak the truths over ourselves. And it's like that just lines up with everything we've ever been trained about affirmation and building the positivity in yourself. And I mean, you can be
Yes.
surrounded with negativity, and as long as you're, focused on your positives and your truth, that's really what matters.
Yeah, that's right. And the enemy is here to steal, kill, and destroy because he doesn't want he doesn't want to bring people to Jesus. And so yeah, he knows the ways to get us down and out, right? Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. Like in this book, she says, I realized that God had just given me a revelation on how to increase energy. Now, when I counsel, I rehearse my healthy core beliefs. Some of these beliefs are it is impossible for people not to encounter God when I counsel them. I am anointed to set people free. The anointing of the Holy Spirit, not my great ability, is what helps people, and I am not required to do anything but be myself because I am more than enough. She didn't say it was affirmations, but I wrote on the side affirmations because I mean, yeah, it's the same thing. Like just really increases your energy and rehearses her healthy core beliefs. I liked that. So good. And you guys, if you can, go to my post and listen to that podcast. It is so good. It is so good. And that's the author. The author of this book is there. Hey, and Natalie, will you post the link to the podcast that you all did today on our page? I would love
Yeah,
to share it with everybody.
I sure can. It's called Her Game, His Grace, because we're gonna do video game chats and stuff like that
Oh,
too.
awesome. Fun.
Yeah.
Love it. Okay, let me take her picture. Everybody smile. And the kitties too. So Spring, would you be willing to do the Devo or product knowledge next week?
I can do product.
Great. I'm going to put you down.
Okay.
And then we'll find someone to do the Devo. All right. Dear Jesus, thank you so much for the words that you give us that are true and that are right, and that we can really have those healthy core beliefs that you have designed for us, and that there is a way that we can really throw away those lies that Satan tries to make us believe, and people that aren't free try to drag us down. And we are just so thankful for the words that people have written and the experiences that they have been through to share those healthy core beliefs with us, Lord. Thank you for those authors and coaches who've shared this with us. And I just pray that this week that there's an opportunity for us to share those healthy core beliefs with somebody in some way, whether it be an appointment or someone we're close with or a family member. But I definitely believe that this is a gift that you've given us to pass on to other people. So I just pray, especially over these three, Renee and Natalie and Spring, that you'll give them an opportunity to share these, the truth with other people this week as they are doing life and with their families, Lord. Thank you for the truth, and thank you that you have died on the cross to set us free, and that we can have everlasting life through you. We love you, Lord, and I pray for all those people that aren't here tonight. We miss them, and we pray this in your name. Amen. Victorious emotions is the code word. Victorious emotions. All right. Love you guys.
Right.
Have a great week.